ॐ ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ समस्त भागवताचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुने शौनकादृशिभ्यो अत्राशिभ्यो कुललादिभक्तिनेभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य वाचमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यान् शास्त्रचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। ॐ श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। ॐ अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। चाण्ट् फ्रम् मन्त्र 31 नो द्विजेत जनात् धीरः श्रीभगवानुवाच नो द्विजेत जनात् धीरः जनं चोद्विजयेन्न तु अतिवादान् सिदिक्षेत नावमन्येत कञ्चन देहमुद्दिश्य पशुवत् वैरं कुर्यान्न केनचित् एक एव परो हि आत्मा भूतेष्वात्मन्यवस्थितः यथेन्दुरुदपात्रेषु भूतान्येकात्मकानि च अलब्ध्वा न विषीदेत काले काले अशनं क्वचिद् लब्ध्वा न हृष्येद्धृतिमान् उभयं दैवयन्त्रितम् आहारार्थं समीहेत युक्तं तत्प्राणधारणं तत्त्वं विमृश्यते तेन तद्विज्ञाय विमुच्यते यदृच्छयोपपन्नान्नम् अद्यात् श्रेष्ठमुतावरं तथा वासस्तथा शय्यां प्राप्तं प्राप्तं भजेन्मुनिः शौचमाचमनं स्नानं न तु चोदनयाचरेतो अन्यान्श्च नियमान् ज्ञानी यथाहं लीलयेश्वरः न हि तस्य विकल्पाख्या या च मद्वीक्षया हता आदेहान्तात् क्वचित् ख्यातिः ततः सम्पद्यते मया दुःखोदर्केषु कामेषु जातनिर्वेद आत्मवान् अजिज्ञासितमद्धर्मः गुरुं मुनिम् उपाव्रजेत् तावत् परिचरेत् भक्तः श्रद्धावान् अनसूयकः यावत् ब्रह्म विजानीयात् मामेव गुरुमाद्रुतः यस्त्वसंयतषड्वर्गः प्रचण्डेन्द्रियसारथिः ज्ञानवैराग्यरहितः त्रिदण्डमुपजीवते सुरान् आत्मानमात्मस्थं निहनुते मां च धर्मः अविभक्वकषायोऽस्मात् अमुष्मात् च विहीयते भिक्षोर्धर्मः शमो हिंसा तप ईक्षावनौकदः गृहिणो भूतरक्षेज्यः द्विजस्याचार्यसेवनं ब्रह्मचर्यं तपः शौचं सन्तोषो भूतसौहृदं गृहस्थस्यापि ऋतौ गन्तुः सर्वेषां मदुपासनम् इति मां यः स्वधर्मेण भजन् नित्यम् अनन्यभाक् सर्वभूतेषु मद्भावः मद्भक्तिं विन्दते दृढां भक्त्योद्धवानपायिन्या सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सर्वोत्पत्त्यप्ययं ब्रह्म कारणं मोपयाति सः इति स्वधर्मनिर्निक्तसत्त्वो निर्ज्ञातमद्गतिः ज्ञानविज्ञानसम्पन्नः न चिरात् समुपैति माम् वर्णाश्रमवतां धर्मः एष आचारलक्षणः स एव मद्भक्तियुतः निःश्रेयसकरः वरः एतत्ते विहितं साधो भवान् पृच्छति यच्छमाम् यथा स्वधर्मसंयुक्तः भक्तो मां समयात् परम् इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे अष्टादशोऽध्यायः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूता शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यासा शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम, श्री मैत्रेय शरणं मम, श्री अगस्त्य शरणं मम, श्री मार्कण्डेय शरणं मम। ओम श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीमद् स्वर्गे सत्येज कैलासे वैकुंठे नास्ति रसः अथ पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामा मुञ्चितकरेचिद। ओम श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश मुक्तिस्कन्धः। मुक्तिरित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थिते अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। हरि ओम, salutations to the entire Bhagavatacharya parampara and also the Mahabhaktas, avatars. Salutations to all the regular audience who are with us together for the last almost 2 years to study this great grand Purana Bhagavatam. I'm sure some transformations consciously happening in us, and most adrishtapala as a result of punya of this great work will definitely be waiting for us to give us better and better opportunities. We are in 11th Skandha Puranam, Bhagavatam, Mukti Skandha it is, to get that Mukti, liberation from all bondages, limitations, where Bhagavan defined it as Hitva Anyatha Rupam Swarupena Vyavastidhi, giving up false notions and establishing in right understanding. So here Bhagavan Krishna in every chapter giving us all beautiful guidances in which there are some things to be done, there are some places where we have to change our attitudes, add our devotions, do our surrenders, get established in. So this is how the Bhagavata 11th Skanda, Mukti Skanda guides us. Of late we are in the Varna Ashrama Achara. In that also 4 Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Bhagavan told. In the ashramas also, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, all dharmas Bhagavan said. Now the Yati ashrama or the Jignasu, Mumukshu, Sadhaka, for all of them, the sadhanas Bhagavan is indicating. Now, one thing we have to remember is what? The more we listen is good, but then among that what is remembered by us alone is that which we have studied, we can add it as. Like when you go through a online purchasing, so many things you browse through, then some only you select and put it in your basket for purchasing. In the same way, we are listening Varna, Vyavastha, Ashrama, Dharma, all. How many of them we remember if we ask now? What are the Brahmanas Dharma, if I ask? Which yaad hai kya? What are Kshatriya Dharma? Yaad hai kya? No, nahi hai yaad, then how do we do sadhana? That means what? Every topic for that matter, in general, but particularly the topics which appear to us to be very important and very relevant and immediate, those things we have to re-study, reread, re-listen, so that the content comes into our heart. We remember it. Among those remembered 20, 30 things, at least 4, 5, 6 will be able to practice. In that two or three we'll consistently do, and at least one we completely do and get the benefit out of it. It's just a listening will not help to much extent other than an information. There is a text in that these things are told. What are those things? We don't remember. What is said in seventh skanda by Prahlada and Lakshmi Narasimha. At least few thoughts remember. So this is what we have to add to our sadhana along with listening. The main points. If you have great memory, remember it. If not, make a notes. Keep referring to those notes. Then two things will happen. One, this is what said in that particular text. This clarity will come. And this is what I have to do consciously as sadhana. This will come. And that consciously which we do alone is called as sadhana. That alone gives benefit to us. Spirituality is not an imagination, not just saying to the Lord, take care of me, and telling to the Guru, take care of me, everything will happen. No, if that is the thing, where is the meaning for Purushartha? If Purushartha is not there, time and again in all Shastras, why the do's are told, aisa karo, aisa karo, aisa karo? Remember, the prayers will facilitate us for doing, but the prayers are not the replacement for doings. What we have to do only. That Lord which whom we are asking to bless us and all, He only telling us, no, do this, do this. Like for example, we are living a human being, dharma. So you can't escape dharma. You can't ask others to do my dharma. That's what is the 11th skandha started with. Uddhared atmanatmanam magnam samsara varidhau. Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Here also. प्रायेण मनुजा लोके लोकतत्त्वविचक्षणाः समुद्रन्ति आत्मानम् आत्मनेव आत्मना एव शुभाशयात्. So that which we have to do only. Then the prayer. Ma manusmara yudhyacha, then prarthana and samarpana. Ma manusmara is studying Shastra and knowing what he wants us to do. Every time, oh Lord, without my doing, please let this come to me. Don't ask like that. To get this, what I must to do from my part, oh Lord, tell me and give me the ability, strength for me to do them, and the rest which is not in my hands, please take care of it. Please bless me in that. This is a complete correct way of praying as well as living life. So, remembering at least a few of them when we start doing. For remembering, we have to re-study. But the book is very big, Swami, and that's what you should have done it every day homework. क्लास होते ही 15 मिनट बैठकर जब का तब नोट्स बनाना है. You will not have time later on. You will be busy in the world, sucked by the world with various demands, responsibilities, obligations. Every day it is happening. If not the tiredness, exhaustion, if not the sleep, if not the entertainments. Gayo, do you understand now why our spiritual growth doesn't happen? First reason is, first of all, we don't even believe there is spirituality all. Nastikata. Second, we come to spirituality, but we don't become practical in doing things. We just be satisfied with listening and in a hallucination, imagination that something will happen as God's grace and something will happen. It won't. It's not like that. From that imagination, we have to come to the reality that Purushartha Yukta me must do my own Purushartha of sadhana. For example, a shloka, ability to chant it. How will it happen just like that if I don't chant it? Just a simple question, simple common example. One mantra, whatever of the Upanishad or Bhagavat we were saying, no? Remember that one करके. गुरु के बारे में we said. Now मन्येत करेसितु मर्त्य बुद्ध्या न अपकुर्यातु सर्वदेवमयो गुरुः. No, unless I do, how will I know it? How will I remember? Guru Mam Abhijaniyat Navamanyeta Karechit Martya Buddhyana Suyata Sarvadevamayo Guru. No, you somehow did it, therefore at least you can remember when I chant. In the same way, which is that like Upasana? How will the Upasana will give result if we don't do ourselves? Remember that. So let us become from today 8222 Ardho by practical, at least in few of the sadhanas. Yeah, a lot more. We'll discuss it some every day, some other day. Now coming to this, Yati Dharma, Vanaprastha se ho gaya, Sannyasi Dharma ho gaya. There also slowly, Bhagavan is mixing all. In the Sannyasa Dharma, what is to be given up, what is to be held, outer attitudes and responses, how to maintain the life, etc. He is also saying about how the Yati should evolve or involve always in the contemplation of the self and truth. What is the nature of the self or truth? What is the position of the world? In a small quantity, Bhagavan says as subheadings, Uddhava, etc. already they know it, therefore they fill up all the gaps. From that sannyasa yati dharma, Bhagavan took us to the next level of the even avadhuta sthiti. And there he was telling this is how a person who has no more individuality in him, who has become one with the universal conscious self, he cannot, will not, need not have any rules, regulations. He can just live happily. Doesn't mean he cannot have rules, means he will not follow rule or he will break the rules. He will follow rule only, and what he lives is becoming, he becomes rule for others. They are the ones who, the perfection masters, perfected masters. This way they live. They are called their Lakshana. They become our sadhana. Siddhasya Lakshanani, Sadhakasya Sadhanani. Then again, in three slokas, Tattva Chintana, in 2-3 slokas, again how we'll have to be in the Vyavahara. That's why Bhagwan is fully developing and completely giving the picture for all the Varna and all ashrama. More emphasis is given on Grahastha ashrama. Now, Brahmacharya Grahastha, now he is giving emphasis on the Yati dharmas, Sannyasa dharmas, and Lakshanas of Sadhaka, the one who want to be liberated, the one who is Jignasu, unke liye. So we saw yesterday, very beautiful shloka, 30th if you see, Vedavadarataha nasyatu. Let us not revel in the Vada Vivada regarding the Vedas. Vedas said, you believe it, you practice, you get liberated, you give an idea if somebody asks, refer it. But don't try to too much prove because the others may be Nastika. And without experience, before experience, for the person who has not experienced the self, he will be in the Maya and delusion, no? In the Maya and delusion, there are million types of possibilities of thinkings, which will be contradictory to each other. Like Parabrahma Tattva is ultimate truth. If you know it, there is no question. Is Nirguna Nirakara. If that one point we miss and come down a notch, then we say is Saguna Sakara. Then which Guna, which Akara, which Rupa, which Nama. It is endless. When it is endless, there will be conflict between two. Then where will the fight end? Like when I come to Saguna Sakara, I say Bhagavan Shiva, you say Bhagavan Vishnu. No, Shiva and Vishnu are totally different in their expression. Now, if you start arguing, when will you establish who is supreme? You can't. Because other than the lower level of one level lower than the absolute truth, there are endless that are options, and each one with his limited intellect looks from that own standpoint, which fully is appearing to him, correct to him, and by practicing it, he even got the best of the thing. Therefore, he proposes that. Other fellow did the other one. He reached through that, but he talks only about that, like यहाँ से दिल्ली कैसे जाना. No, the one who went by walk, he says only by walk you can go because he went by walk. The one who goes by car, he says only by car because he went. The one who went by train, he says train. The one who flew in 3 hours, he says अरे फ्लाइट में जाना चाहिए दिल्ली. एक हर एक बंदा करेक्ट है, लेकिन म्यूचुअली दे कैन नेवर बी सेम. And this came to us in our Mandukya Upanishad Karikas. If you remember, this he has guided or misguided by the people, the predecessors, that his mind gets conditioned. अध्यापितमधि some shloka came. मांडुक्य तो फर्स्ट टाइम पढ़ रहे हो तुरंत याद तो नहीं आएंगे श्लोक बट the example is remembered. Just like we go to next world depending on yatha karma and yatha shrutam as per Kathadi Upanishad, another shloka in Mandukya came, everybody's mind gets conditioned because of his exposure to a particular group of people or his own line of thinking. देखो, even there are two people Krishna Bhakta, one like the Bala Krishna, one like the Yuva Krishna, one like the Praudha Krishna, one like the Gitopadesha Krishna, Ashta Sakhi Krishna, Radha Krishna, Rukmani Krishna, Dhyana Mudra Krishna. अब देखो लड़ाई. So I'm telling Vedavadarata Nasyat. Don't try to argue with the people about the Veda. You tell if they ask. More than that, when they are adamant, we can't. Second one, na pakhandi. So too, don't be a nastika. Just listening to the mind's dictions. Don't listen. Don't follow. And don't influence others also. Because as we said just now, a mind which is not matured will have so many seemingly good ideas which are very destructive. Pakhandi means neither he believes Shastra, nor the elderly people, nor gurus, he says, nor any rules, regulations, nor spirituality. ऐसा नहीं होना. And in them, in the Pakhandi, some of them will be good, noble people also, just like that. By them, there is no harm to the world. Yet they are Pakhandi only. When they are anyway in that good stage, they can be into higher stage of knowing the experience of the great masters and believe it and follow it. But they get stagnant there. Like we get stagnant in our few texts, few classes, few upasanas, few meditations. Okay, अरे आगे बढ़ो ना, नहीं हमको इधर ही अच्छा लग रहा है. So we are caught up in this. Like that, the Pakhandi will be there. Next one, na haitu kaha. Hetu has no. Always remember the logic has no base. Tarko apratishtaha. No standardized pratishta for it. Anybody can take logic from his own standpoint. Therefore, ना हेतु कहा तो मत हेतुवाद मत करना. श्रद्धा रखो बस हो गया. हेतुवाद से कोई मिलता नहीं. Then he said, शुष्कवाद विवादे न कंचित पक्षम समासरे. In the Vada Vivada, which is non-spiritual, which is called dry or shushka, don't take anybody's position or any paksha. Don't take any party. Don't join any one of the paksha or parties. शुष्कवाद विवाद में लेना ही नहीं, तुम्हारे मर्जी. So we have seen all that. Now the next sloka, yesterday we spent more than 10 minutes. No dvijeta janat dhiraha. This is what. Decide that I am not going to become udvejita, udvega yukta because of the people around. People, situations are created by people only. No udvijeta. Why? What are the reasons we have to use here? One is, without our prarabdha, it will not happen. Second, without Lord's grace, it will not come to us. Third, we are part of this world. Therefore, whether it is, even if though there is no prarabdha my own, even though the Lord is not willing, yet because a part of this world, that person's influence will be there on me because we are the co-travelers. Like in the bus, you are traveling, somebody is smoking. No, the smoke, his smoke, passive one comes to you. It is not your prarabdha. It is not the God given one. Then that fellow had a habit. By default, you are traveling in the same bus. Therefore, that is at that moment influence it. You close your nose and die, or get down of the bus, or tell that fellow to put it off, or tell the conductor. All these are to be done healthily without becoming udvega yukta. So, some of them need not be our prarabdha. Like that person is giving a dhanam to me. No, that is not my prarabdha. It is somebody told him, inko dhan do, you are somehow being a brahmana or something, he gave it dhanam. Sometimes it can be out of prarabdha also, but not necessarily. There is some, he asked somebody, ये पाप हो गया या कुछ है, शांति चाहिए, क्या करें? They go to that brahmana or pujari, he gives. So keep these reasons. It can be God's grace, it can be our prarabdha, it can be because of other person who is a co-traveler. Like we also might have influenced manybody, troubled manybody, many people. Keeping all these bases, achieve the committed thing. What is the commitment? I will not get udvega yukta or disturbed by anybody's presence or absence or doing or not doing. Then how to achieve all this in one go along with these understandings? Just love all as they are. That's it. Decide not to become Udvega. And as we added yesterday, any action to be done, you do it without Udvega. Like the judge. He gives the decision, but he'll not become Udvega Yukta when that murder is being proved. He will say the words also. Such a heinous crime never happened in the past history. Entire court feels so regretted for that. All that are the things that are required. But they are all a human expressions, but not the Udvega there. He will also tell, so 302 section, hang him till death too. That's it, no Udvega. So too, the jailers recommend to the president, he from last 10 years in jail, although his life term jailing, but did well, behaved well, so he can deserve to be released during 26 January. President looks at it, he says, okay, no Udvega in him. That way, don't get disturbed. If it's a habit of getting disturbed, you will get disturbed by anybody for anything. And $1 million thought we'll share. The disturbance is because of our ignorance only, not and should not be because of other person's behavior. Because other person's behavior depends on his nature, depends on his own evolution, depends on his state of mind that day or in general or in that life, which is not only our control, but even that person control also it is not there. Don't ask him, till yesterday you were like that, why suddenly you change? You will not get answer because that person also doesn't know. But it is not acceptable to me, it is unimaginable to me. Yeah, go through that pain, learn for the entire life that don't trust anyone to be the same all the time. Sharamayato, learn this lesson. I am learning. Then be normal again. You are a loving person, keep loving entire world. Better love buffaloes. Don't love human beings. Love the trees and birds. Orangutan, chimpanzee, you love them. No dvijeta. Very important thing. Janat dhira. Decide. No, Bhagavan is not saying, beta, a lot of disturbances will come into your life because people, I will remove your Udvega. He is not saying. He said, you should not become Udvega. That is your training you have to achieve by your effort. In fact, he says, the more you try to be Udvega Rahita, the more problems I will send you so that you become more and more stronger in this. See why? From the Vedanta standpoint, only when you free from Udvega, then only you can become contemplative. In knowing the truth or untruth of it, even it's an external issue, truth and untruth of it from the absolute standpoint. That is main, no? We have to be knowledgeable. You become Udvejita, you become emotional and reacting and angry and fighting. You will only add ghee and butter to the fire. How to do one sentence? Only one sentence. The world is like this from time immemorial. It will continue. And we are never the first person to be victimized like this. But why I am cheated? You are not the one. They have cheated many and many are cheated by many. And you also might have cheated many. They don't tell you, but doesn't mean that it's not that they don't feel. जिन जिन लोगों को लेकर हम दुखी होते हैं ना, हमें लेकर भी बहुत दुखी होते हैं, याद रखना दुनिया में. They didn't like our behavior. Therefore, that is a udvega to us, them also because of us. If nobody complained against us, means it is their decency, not our greatness. We complain others about others, it's our indecency. You just accept it and escape from there. No udvijayata janata. They will insult you, they will cheat you, and they'll trouble you. They'll take away the things. They will break the trust. Everything is possible. What is likha hua hi nahi pata. You can't even ask the Lord also some cases. Only ask, give ability, strength for me to go through all that without disturbing my sadhana. This is the highest prayer. Second one is equally true. Janam cha udvijayet natu. My own ego, my own selfishness. Strongest ego, extreme selfishness. Leading to the obsessions, the obstinations. These are the ones make the people udvega because of us. Therefore, try to avoid all of them. Some places your presence itself is not liked. So don't go. Not only you and I, some people don't like even great saints or some gurus coming to their house. So you have common sense, don't go. Stay in a hotel. Don't go there, that's all. Don't create udvega. Why it is like that? But I am good, I am noble, I love them. They don't want it. That's like that. In some cases in life, you will never have an answer. That is the place where you have to understand that the answer is don't ask question, just accept it. If a question has no answer, means question is meaningless. They don't like our words. They don't like anything. That's how it's very erratic the world is. From this you can understand how the Vichitra is my world. As the wise people don't open their mouth. They just do their dharma and just go moving in this world, escape from this world. This world is like a huge valley. You little slip, चकना चोर bones भी नहीं मिलेंगे दफनाने को या जलाने को. World is like that only. Absolutely alert. More than what out speak, etc. We should know what not to speak. And the answer is nothing to be spoken. Anything you say, you do, you understand, that gives udvega to others. A wonderful suggestion of the parents, children don't accept. Is there anybody more loving or kind and compassionate than parents to children in the entire universe other than Guru and God? But that all gives udvega only to children. Now, what the parents can do, मैं क्या करें स्वामी, उनके अच्छे के लिए हम कह रहे हैं ना, और उनको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है ना, मैं क्या करूं, बस एक दो बार बोलो, फिर हिंट देते जाओ, फिर छोड़ दो. पर बिगड़ जाएंगे, खराब हो जाएंगे. Don't limit them like that. Through that बिगड़ा only they learn. If they have to learn. If not this life, next life they learn. Don't get too much involved and you get troubled and you miss your sadhana. Na udvijayet janam. Nobody should become udvega. Whether it is family members, servants, if you are a boss in an office, teach them, tell them nicely, make them realize. Okay, now, depending on your position, you can be strong sometimes to remove them from the post. Now, that udvega you are not creating in them because of your selfishness. In the total interest of the company, it is inevitable to remove him. You removed him. Therefore, you are not at fault. But he becomes udvega yukta. No, you should learn from it. That's not done by you. So that बारीक जो फर्क होता है लाइन वो खींच के वो समझ लेना हमको. But it is attitude first of all. I am not going to be disturbed by others. I am not disturbing others. उद्वेग निर्माण नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं. Any type. And nowadays, as the people have grown in ego selfishness also, they have grown in this aspect of not deliberately creating udvega. That's so in big apartments of 100 flats, nobody talks to anybody because udveg ho jata hai. They move in the same lift. They go to the same milk fellow. They get the milk packets. Same lift mein se. They don't even talk to each other. Good if we talk instead of getting fighting in the talk through talking. They go walking. The 100 people walk a jog in the same park in the gated community. एक दूसरे hello भी नहीं बोलते. You know, that is safe only, better than talking and creating nonsense. It's all changes depending on the timing. So in the earlier days, they had no ego much at all. Therefore, they dil khol ke baat karke sare suna ke. They used to enjoy that. There are some different maturity of egolessness. Now we have a lot of wisdom, money, and ego. This is funny the world is. Now udvijeta. Slowly like a chore, he comes and goes away because others should not be disturbed. It's a maturity. Really, if he does something also, others complain, आपके बच्चे बहुत आवाज कर रहे हैं. They also don't accept it. Funny this world today. Anyway, essence is caught now, consciously, deliberately. Don't disturb others with your own ego, selfishness, insistence. Others, if they do, just withstand to that in a smiling form. With smile, remove the half of the thing. With acceptance, remove the remaining half of the disturbance that others are creating. That's it. Two things in life: refuse to get disturbed, refuse to be miserable. If these two happen, you need not study any Shastra. You are already one with Brahma. Only these two. Very tough even to understand, more tough to practice with all the ego and knowledge inside us and the attitude of taking badala and educating others, improving others. All the ons are there in us, no? Therefore, we can't do these two. दो चीजें कर ले तो जिंदगी बड़ी आसान. Slowly we have to. This is all actual practical spirituality. Very important because the entire world is disturbing or disturbed. These are the only two things that are happening. And as regards we are concerned, have that large heartedness to accept every heat given by the world without getting udvega. ठीक है. Keep on forgiving, keep on accepting, keep on adjusting, keep on becoming stronger. More than that, कुछ नहीं कर सकते हम. And luckily, and we don't have so many people to do udvega in our life. दो चार ही होते हैं. वाइफ और हस्बैंड और वन चिल्ड्रन और उतने हो है, बाकी तो आते नहीं अपने घर. Maybe maximum your daughter, son-in-law. Son-in-law is always good. Doctor only Rakshasi nowadays. Again, son is Rakshasa. Daughter-in-law is good. जो भी है इतना ही होता है हमारा प्रॉब्लम. Little bit, that's okay. In the infinite continuation of life, in this one life, for some period of time, somebody persecuted. That also only some time. Remaining is your own mind's hallucination. One thing you must learn from Bhagavat classes. What is that? How to forget immediately. In fact, I tell you what a nice lesson you teach me. तुरंत भूल गए. Yeah? Then the wife tells you that Bahu talked to you without any respect. Why you didn't respond? What did she say? I forget. How did you forget? I learned it from you only. You also used to do same. I forgot. You only trained me. It is useful now. Interesting it is. Okay. No Dvicheta Jana Dhiraha. Dhira is the ability, capacity. We spoke what last 10 minutes about Dhirata only. Dhirata is wisdom, Dhirata is patience, Dhirata is goodwill, Dhirata is love. Dhirata is with the idea that we are living together in this particular world in one boat simultaneously. Therefore, we have to accept everyone, move ahead. Dhira. Then janam cha udvejayet natu, udvejayet natu. Then adivadan titiksheta. This is the most important thing where we pause yesterday. Ativadan titiksheta. When others do the ativada, do the titiksha. Cross it the limits. Any legal action you can take, do it. But if they are some nearer to dears to you, do just titiksha. Know that again it's a clearance of our own prarabdha. And nobody will be bad for a long time. Ativadan titiksheta. Clear? Very important among all that. We ought to have studied in Upanishad, Brahmavid bhavate nativadi, Vidvan bhavate nativadi, Atma kridaha atmarati kriyavan. There Vidvan bhavate nativadi means once he experienced Brahman, there is nothing other than Brahman, therefore there is no thing to be talked only. There the ativada means something other than Brahman. That is the ultimate truth level में वो होता है. In the general life, na ativadi bhavati means you will not talk anything to get disturbed or to disturb others. If others do ativada, be the titikshu. Titiksha से उसको अभ्यार करना. ना अतिवादान कैसे अतिवादान स्थितिक्षेता. This is the biggest test to test our ego. I am learning it slowly, slowly. I am Swami, how that person disturbs me? You are Swami, you are thinking, but that person is not thinking, no? But why? That is how they don't like only Swami. What are you? Anybody they don't like. Now, when these experiences I get from the world, no, children or youth or anybody whom I loved so much, that is real lesson, 10 times greater than studying Bhagavad. You are nothing for the world because you are nothing really. If you are something, you are everything, and that thing is Paramatma, which is there everywhere. From the Paramatma we separate, we are nothing only. That is what is again and again proved. You can see great film people or other people, even spiritual people, being praised by a good number of people. But there is other side also. How many people insult them or talk bad? You don't know. Because they don't like the attitudes and all, the way of expression, the language. That's how कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना that's what अतिवादन तितिक्षेत्र. And especially once you are dealing with the people in variety of activities and levels, definitely the opposition. You can see the ruling government. Opposition लोग अतिवाद करते आते करते. Yesterday's that parliament you have seen, the Rajya Sabha. धूम धड़ाके से जो झाड़ दिया पीएम ने. Those 8 minutes of the time is worth listening only that vigorous thing. Patience, patience, patience. He has to. आप सुनाता हूँ. आपके नेहरू का करके when he started, it was interesting. He was mentioning about South Korea and America. It was so humorous. Ativada, you be prepared that people will not like you. They'll have their own opinion. They pass comments. Many of them will be oppositely, which you never expect. You can't prove them. They don't accept it. You try to do it. They will bring out something else. What to do? Titiksheta. It's not that people do Ativada and you have to. It may be possible. The Krishna Bhagavan is preparing me, the sadhaka, especially Yati Sannyasi sadhaka. Why? If you don't do titiksha and react, means what? You have proved you are an ego. You have proved you also in the mind, you have likes, dislikes. You have proved that you also use your intellect to assess, and you have proved that you have accepted the world as real, and you have proved that that other person is other than you, that also you have accepted. You have proved that you are not a sadhaka only. Forget about Siddha. Nativada antitiksheta. Lot of things in this, but I have touched, you must catch the remaining. Second, avamanyeta karshichitu kanchana means don't do avamana to anyone and don't feel avamana from others. And the only thing for this is what? Respect everyone in your heart first. Then when the need occasion comes, express that inner respect outside. Follow the Punjabi style. Earlier Punjabi, अब कितना बदला नहीं पता मुझे. I'm talking about 25 years back. They respect their children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, even the pet dogs. सबको लोग आदर करते हैं. They call the dog Jimmy जी, Tommy जी, वो आ जाता है. बेटा जी, पोता जी, everything they add parle जी. That is a very good training. 50 to 70% of quarrel goes away because of that. The only way not to do avamana to others, inside and outside, is do the mana or respect to others. That's why amani, manada, therefore manya. He has no ego, so never gets disturbed. Manada, he gives everybody respect, therefore they reciprocate it. Therefore, he is called as manya. Vishnu Sahasranam. Amani, no ego. Manadaha respects all. Manyaha, therefore respected by everybody. That's why he becomes slowly like this Lokaswami and Trilokadruku. Is it not? Navamanyeta kanchana. Even the small children also, servants also, even they are doing something wrong also. Beta गलत है बता देना. किसी के ego को hurt नहीं करना. There are three things: the self in them, the ego in them, the mistake in them. Mistake rectify करो. Ego को positive direction दो. Self को acknowledge करो. In every individual. Other than that, don't do avana to anyone. That is a papa. Especially to the Yati Sannyasi Marg में रहने वाले. And it is inside. It's a very, very important serious sadhana. They are much important in the initial stage than the Brahma Vidya or Tattva Chintana or Atma Chintana. Well, obviously, all that will obviously happen if we start correcting at this level. Okay? Now, the last line is the best, in fact, in this context. What is that? Deham uddishya pashuvat vairam kuryat na kenachit. Deham uddishya means on the basis of aham dehosmi, and on the basis of the requirements, needs of the deha, the comforts, etc. Don't fight with others. So, if it is done, it's like pashu only. And 90% of quarrels are deha drushti only. Some of them are the ahankara drushti and mana drushti. Pashuvat. Like पशु ओनली फाइट देह दृष्टि, इसको धक्का देको वो जगह ऑक्यूपाई करता है एंड वो उसका खाने को झपट कर ले लेता है. All that pashus do that. From the deha drushti, don't do vaira with others. It is like pashu lakshanam. Deha drushti means what? If somebody has not given you some eatable, they ate. It is a deha drushti. Deha means indriya, deha and all. The physical comforts I am not provided. Indriya's comforts I am not provided. They have taken away mine. Or I want it. They are taking it. Something I'll do. Vairam nahi karna. It is mainly for sannyas because sannyas is beyond dehana. Then how can you from the deha standpoint think and then fight with others? There deha dushtya pashvat means when he goes for viksha, in some house they didn't give a good food. Basi diya hai. Now that food is for the deha. Up pashuvat vaira means in the mind keeping that they gave a wrong food to me. You eat or don't eat. Throw it if you don't like. Doesn't matter. But don't have the vairam in the mind. The vairam includes jealousies and all. That person is more fat than me, or more beautiful than me, handsome than me, healthy than me, longer living than me. Vairam. ये सब देह दृष्टि ही है. On the basis of that, don't have the quarrel or fight. भोजन का विषय हो, वस्त्रों का विषय हो, घर का विषय हो, प्रॉपर्टी का विषय हो, all that is deha related only, no? Whatever the wealth, etc., is only for deha. For the mind, what wealth you need? It's only inner wealth of knowledge we need, no? So for the sake of the body as well as body required things, don't quarrel with others with enmity. It is a pashu lakshanam. That's a pashuvat. Deha bodhya, देहम उद्देश्य पशुवत वैरम कुर्यात न केनचित केनचित वैरम न कुर्यात किससे से भी. Then you go through the difficulty, if required, give that person that comfort. No, these are so deep, no? ऊपर ऊपर करो ना उसका लॉजिक पकड़ में नहीं आता. Then practically impossible लगता है हमको. So much we are attached to deha, to the ahankara, to our own likes, dislikes, that we can't give them up just like that. Whatever shastra we may study, whatever upasanas we do, that goes parallelly, and the other side, with all these inner things, we keep on suffering. We don't know that we are suffering because of them. Even if somebody tells, we are not ready to accept. Some level we may feel okay, but then we are not ready to do sadhana of giving them up. So without giving them up all, how can the inner diseases of the dukkha, all that go away? Without that, how can the mind be peaceful? Without that, how can the intellect think about the truth or reality? कितना दूर है हम देखो हम उसके लिए. Means every one of these sadhanas are done by that person who is absolutely alert about more than what is happening around. He is more alert about what is happening in his mind when something is happening around. He should continuously check his own mind. Am I reacting? But this object is related to the deha. So with the deha buddhi, I am reacting inside and feeling that person as enemy. That means I am a pashu only according to Lord Krishna. So I will not. You are seated. Somebody was pursuing. दूसरों को अच्छा परोसा, आपको नहीं करा परोसा. जान करे अनजाने में. So don't look at घूर के उस व्यक्ति को. It happens knowingly, and somebody may like the other fellow, so they give more better food there. They may not give. होता है भाई. You cannot have vairam, Pashvat. ये देह बुद्धि ये खाने पीने की जगह पे, वस्त्र आदि की जगह पे, आभूषण आदि की जगह पे, कुर्सी सोफा आदि की जगह पे, घर के इन चीजों में ये वैरम होता है. दैट इज ऑल पशु लक्षण. पशु आर जस्ट अहम देहोस्मि. पशु नेवर थिंक अहम जीवोस्मि, आई हैव टू डू साधना. उनका जीवन ही देह है बस. बस उसी के पालन पोषण रक्षण वही करते जाते. Now comes in two slokas, one sloka only, again Brahma Vichara. Eka eva paro hyatma bhuteshvatmanyavastitah yathendurudapatreshu bhutanyekatmakani cha. This is Vedanta. This is the ultimate. This is repeatedly done till we get confirmed about it, establishing that. What is that? Eka eva paro hi atma bhuteshu atmani avastitah. The Paramatma is one only who is there as Atma in every being. So this was the question yesterday somebody asked toward the end of the class. That means I am Sat, that is Sat, I am Chit, that is Chit. There are two Chits are there. What? That's what I said. It's not a question, it is an answer. That question should lead to the answer. Two Sat, two Chit cannot be. Sat Chit is one. No. That is me, that is that. Everywhere it is only. When you see that me and I difference goes away. We are intellectually understanding, there was still the doubts remaining. But if we really apprehend it in the experience of Satchidananda, the experience itself will be such that it is one without second. Therefore, the question only will not come. Is the Sat there one? Is the Sat me other? Are there two Sat or two Chitta? That question will never come there when you experience it. तो एक एव परो है आत्मा भूतेषु आत्मनि अवस्थितः. In all the beings as their self, what is there is one Parama Atma, Supreme Self only. Why is called as Parama? Because these are so many and they are all conditioned. He is one unconditioned. Therefore, it has to be said as Supreme. And beyond that, there is no other. That's why also it's called as Para Atma. This Para word is Upanishadic. इंद्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इंद्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनस्तु परा बुद्धिः बुद्धेरात्मा महान् परः महतः परम् अव्यक्तम् अव्यक्तात् पुरुषः परः पुरुषान्न परं किंचित् सा काष्ठा सा परागतिः. You saw in that Kathopanishad. Gita also, 3rd chapter, last 2 slokas. इंद्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इंद्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनस्तु परा बुद्धिः बुद्धेरात्मा महान् परः महतः परम् अव्यक्तम् अव्यक्तात् पुरुषः परः. और इंद्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इंद्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनस्तु परा बुद्धि यो बुद्धे परतस्तु सह एवं बुद्धे परम बुद्ध्वा संस्तभ्यात्मानमात्मना जहि चतुर महाबाहो कामरूपं दुरासदम्. The 42-43 sloka of chapter 3, the last 2 slokas. Paraha, Supreme. One Supreme Self is there, which alone is seen as the Atma as well as Jiva in every being. Yesterday I said explained exhaustively. Hope you thought over it. It is only the intermediary stage to say that behind the Panchakoshas, one Atma is there. In me, in you. It's only intermediate level. It's not a final level. Final level is not the Atma behind my Panchakosha, behind your Panchakosha are not two. One only. But for the sake of explanation, for sake of sadhana, for an individual, it is told, transcend your own Panchakoshas and discover yourself. When I discover myself, when you discover yourself, like behind your ornaments, there is gold. Behind my ornament, there is gold. But gold are not two. First you discover the gold behind your ornament. Then you know it is all one. Gold cannot be two wherever in the universe. In the same way, one Atma, Eka eva paro hi Atma, Bhuteshu Atmani avasthitam. Bhuteshu Atmani means in all the beings as your own self. So too in my own self is one. Examples are Yatha Induhu Udapatreshu. Yatha Induhu Udapatreshu. Bhutani Ekatmakani cha. Bhutani Ekatmakani. All Bhutas have Ek Atma behind that. All beings have one self as common substratum. All beings have one self as common substratum. Bhutani eka atmakani. All beings have one only the Atma in them. There are not two. Example, Induhu the Patreshu. You know, the Pratibimba, one Indu moon. But how many Udapatras are there? 200. There were how many Indu Pratibimbas are there? The 200. But behind all those 200 Hindu Pratibimba, the cause of them is only Eka Eva Hindu. There are no many Hindu or Surya or Chandra जो भी हैं दो चार पांच नहीं है वो एक ही है. No, this is Vedanta. Krishna gives a hint. Uddhava is so much studied already can relate which Upanishad, which Vada is spoken. So Bhagavan is talking about the Pratibimba Vada. So is there Ghata Jala Antargata, Chandra Pratibimba, another Ghata, another Jala Antargata, another Pratibimba. Because of so many Ghatas and so many Jala, so many Pratibimbas are happening. In the same way, so many bodies, so many Sukshma Dehas. Therefore, in each Sukshma Deva, Paramatma, Sukshma Deha, Paramatma is reflecting as that Jiva, that Jiva. So many Jivas may be there, but then the Paramatma who is illuminating every Jiva is one like that one moon or one sun. These are all the things first given to drop the differentiations and to search out the real self. You have to have patience at that level. And as we really go to that self in our meditation and experience it, what is said is very pakka understood. The self is one, like I am one behind all the parts of my body. I am one behind all my three avasthas of Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti. I am one behind my all ages from the childhood to old age. I am one behind all my opposite experience of Sukha, Dukkha, Lava, Hani, Jaya, Parajaya. सारे द्वंद्व द्वैत के बीच में मैं एक ही हूं कि नहीं. So, Indu Udapatreshu is example. Eka eva parohyatma. Bhuteshu atma navastitha. Bhutani eka atmakani cha. All bhutas have one self. No, this is the only principle. Enough. If it is propagated, all mutual killing, even international wars also go away. How? Do you understand now? A corner in Bhagavat 11 Skandha in sloka number 30 to 18 chapter, this sloka is said. Only one line or two lines. This is enough, this sloka of 32 letters. If it can be made as a universally understandable, acceptable sentence or knowledge, every problem goes away, every solution comes. Whether they are Indian, non-Indian, Hindu or non-Hindu, क्या है? Everybody has one Atma only behind. Let it be accepted by all Hindus. Will they hate any Muslim? Will they hate any Christian? Cannot. You know, that is the secret of success of the government national level. Religion wise different. And at the religion level, being secular, everybody should be given proper importance, which doesn't disturb the entire constitution or the nation. But as regard the ruling is concerned, everybody is a citizen of the nation. They have their own due rights. Take care of them. ऑल आर हैरान हो रहे हैं ये देखो ये योगी को देखकर इनको देखकर there is no hatred. Others are instigating again because seeing this Gerua and all that. And the Gerua is my religion. I practice. In politics, I am not religion. I am a leader there who is to take care of all praja. Therefore, if there is a quarrel comes, a temple is occupied by Muslim, उसको सिखा के हिंदू को दे देंगे. So to ये मस्जिद acts by हिंदू, उनको बताएंगे बेटा तुम्हारा नहीं उनका ही दे दो. So that is how you have to rule praja. In a government of democracy, if you are a leader, that's how you have to rule. Behind every one individual, the citizen is there. Who taking care of whom is my responsibility. The religion, that is different thing. उसका टोटली पिक्चर ही अलग है. देखो मिक्स करोगे ना तो सफर करोगे. फायदा के लिए भी मिक्स करो तो सफर करोगे. फॉर एनी रीजन मिक्स और सफर होगा. You should have the art of managing it. Look at everybody basically. First human being, no? बाद में रिलीजन ना. एनीथिंग नेशनैलिटी सब पहले मनुष्य बना. Common. Now go beyond even that Manushyatva. Go to one Atma. That one Atma is there in every tree, plant, animal, bird. Then you will not harm anyone. The entire universe will be like Swarga only. From that highest level, this highest level of wisdom, we have come to such a level of finding any or every or some reason to differentiate, to create quarrel, to do the udvega to others, to hate others. That is why only Vedanta can be solution. But Vedanta has to be lived, not theory. Once you commit to be Vedanta, you can never have any differences and differentiation. You lose that right. You have to talk the language of oneness only. The true Vedantin is like that, at the highest level. Beautiful slokas now. Huh? Then what about the Viksha, Labdwan, Hudya, in the Aharartam, Samyeta? In one sloka, it comes to fetch the food, you must go and have the begging, because while eating food only you are alive. When you are alive, then only you can do sadhana, tattva chintanam, then only you get mukti. If you don't sit at one place and say the food will come, it will not come. You go and get. मेहनत करना है भोजन के लिए, कम से कम भिक्षा वाला. आहारार्थम समीहेत, सम्यक इहेत, yuktam tat pranadharanam. Then only pranadharana will happen. Then tattvam vimrushate tena. Then only you can do the tattva chintanam. Tad vijnaya muchyate. When you know the tattva, you get liberated. This is a beautiful slokas. Continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasa Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namo. Bol Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai, Sadguru Maharaj ki jai. हाँ हाँ ठीक है बेटा.